All right, guys, welcome back to day 3 of our 3-part series, right, for Labor Day. Coming up tomorrow, actually, right?
Yeah.
The actual Labor Day, believe it or not. We're already in September. Where's time go? So today we're going to do a little bit of a dorm room series cooking. So today we have a waffle iron, a microwave, and my Iron Chef demo. I assume everyone's laughing that is watching that for my pun. Thank you. So one little quick tip, we just want to make sure that, I know not every dorm is allowed to have all 3 of these pieces of equipment, so please just make sure you check with your RAs. Don't burn anything down, don't set off the fire alarm, make sure you guys follow the rules, and make sure you're permitted to have these pieces of equipment.
But hopefully you can take a tip or 2 from what we're doing and apply it to whatever you have available to you. And I think, I know when I lived in a dorm, it could be, you feel like you don't have a lot of options, so our goal here is to show you that you can do a lot with a little bit.
Correct, in a small amount of space.
Yeah, and so if you don't want to come to the dining hall to see us, then you have options.
Exactly. All right, so first thing we're going to start off with is the waffle iron. So I do have this preheated. That is very important. If you remember from yesterday's video in the chicken demo, you always want to make sure you preheat. So I do have this waffle iron preheated, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of pan release in there. We're going to make an omelet. All right. So in front of me here, I just have some eggs that are already cracked and whisked up. And then for me, I'm going to add some peppers and onions to my omelet. So I'm going to add some of those right in there. And then also, too, we can't forget about the love of the culinary world, which is salt. So we're going to put a little bit of salt. And also a little bit of pepper. And we're going to put that in there. Now, this is a relatively quick cooking process, so we're going to dump that in. Hear the nice sizzle. I'm going to close it, give it a little flip. We're going to let that cook. Now, while that's cooking, I'm also going to show you how to use a clothes iron to cook. I know it sounds kind of funny, and it is, but you can honestly cook with a clothes iron. So in front of me I have just a typical grilled cheese. So I got some American cheese, 2 pieces of Texas toast, some butter on both sides. And this is actually my iron from home that my fiance will not be pleased if I get cheesy. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to wrap this sandwich in foil. So I'm going to take it, wrap it over, fold it over, and seal it. All right, so I got a nice grilled cheese sandwich. I'm just going to bring it over here to our iron that I also have plugged in and preheated. I'm just going to place that right to it, press down, and we're going to let that go for a little bit. So right now we already have 2 things cooking that you wouldn't really think about ever using, right?
Yeah.
But here we are, making sure that it uses. Couple waffle irons, as I just play with this real quick. Waffle irons draw a lot of wattage. So you want to make sure that, you know, if you are allowed to have it, your circuit, or your plugs that you're plugging into does have the necessary power to power it the entire way.
Sure.
This is more of a commercial model, so of course it draws even more power than, you know, the ones that you buy at Walmart or a big box store like that. But again, you want to make sure that you always have a hot grill when you start. So we're going to give a little quick peek into this. Flip it back over. Right? We have our omelet just like that. So now you can see, get our plate here for you. Take this out with our pan release. All right, stuck right into it. So now we have our nice waffle style omelet. Right, so I just fold it in half like that. You can still see a little bit. Now again too, you want to make sure that you watch how much egg mixture you put in. And I don't know if you actually saw it or not, but when I flipped it, some of the egg actually fell out. So you want to make sure that you only put a little bit in there. And I think everyone would rather make 2 omelets than clean up a whole bunch of eggs all over the place, right?
Yes.
All right, so that's one thing you can use for the waffle iron for.
And you can use that as an opportunity to be creative also and throw in some other veggies that you have.
Correct.
You got some pieces of bacon from your burger
Yeah,
last night,
ham.
leftover ham, anything you a good, I think they mentioned too, maybe we don't always have fresh veggies on hand, but if you have a mini fridge and it has a little freezer part, if you can keep some frozen veggies in there ready to go for you, to use in these recipes too, just for convenience.
No, fantastic, fantastic. Now after we're done with breakfast, I know immediately after I'm done with breakfast, I want dessert. Not necessarily after breakfast, I just always want dessert. So we're gonna actually make some brownies. So in here, just double check in. Give it a quick little spray with some pan release again, both sides. And here what I have mixed up is just some brownie batter. So this is just a box brownie mix, where all you gotta do is add some water, right, that you can easily keep in your dorm room, right? Use some, bottled water that you got around, and then add this in. So what I'm gonna do is just put this in the center. Nice old glob of that, just like you would waffle batter. I know, right? You can already smell it. You can already smell it. Put this back over here. Then we're gonna close this down and give it a good old turn. Again, just making sure I still got power. I'm gonna let that cook. Now, as that's cooking, we're gonna come back to our waffle iron. We're gonna come back to our clothes iron, and then we're gonna check in. So what you're gonna do, open it back up, and you can see there how we already got the nice side GBD, right? Remember that from yesterday? So we're just gonna fold that back up, and then we're gonna get the other side. So as you can see in a couple of minutes, right, what you didn't see is the wait time where we actually plugged everything in and waited for it to preheat. That took maybe 7-ish minutes. But you saw how quick these items are to cook. I know today's world is fast-paced, right? It's all about convenience. It's all about quick speed service. So these are items that you can easily make quickly in your dorm for breakfast. You can roll out of bed, turn the waffle iron on, get ready, brush your hair, come back and make an omelet. You could preheat your iron, you could iron your clothes for the day, and then make yourself lunch.
Yeah.
I know it kind of does sound silly, but this is just meant that just because you live in a dorm or you live somewhere that doesn't have a kitchen, doesn't mean that you still can't make food for yourself.
Exactly.
Right? Because food is a lot cheaper when you make it yourself than going out to eat, right? It's significantly cheaper than getting delivery or anything like that. And plus, you just feel better when you eat something that you've made, right? You know where the ingredients came from.
Yes.
You touched them all with your hands. You cut the veggies yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You crack the eggs. Maybe you got some farm eggs. Good way to use that, right?
Absolutely.
So local eggs. But these are all just tricks to kind of get your mind thinking outside the box.
You could even do a PB&J with a grilled PB&J.
Grilled PB&J is
You
awesome.
always have jar peanut butter, a loaf of bread, and maybe some jelly in your fridge.
Or even some s'mores.
Yeah.
S'mores, right?
Yeah.
Delicious. So again, I'm just gonna check the power real quick. This brownie does smell delicious.
It does.
But I'm gonna go back here to my grilled cheese. Give it a quick little press and check out where we are. So let's just look at that. You got your nice golden brown. You can see all the cheese that's oozing out the side. That's the best part. As soon as we're done filming, I'm just gonna take that cheese off the aluminum foil and eat it. Cut this in half. And then we're just going to set it right there on the plate. So in a matter of minutes, we already have an omelet, we already have grilled cheese. To take the grilled cheese a step further, you could also add some turkey. So we have like kind of a turkey grilled cheese or a turkey panini if you want to sound fancy or artisanal, right? I also have a quesadilla. So 2 ingredients, well 3 really. The flour tortilla, shredded cheese, and then I have put some taco seasoning in here for some extra flavor. So again, I'm going to use some foil. I'm going to wrap this up so we don't get any cheese on our iron, because again, we also use that for our clothes, and we do not want cheesy clothes. So move back over here, set the iron right on top, and good to go. I would suggest too using the ironing board because that is heat proof. The last thing you want to do if your iron does fall off of what you're cooking when you're not around or necessarily watching it, you definitely don't want to burn anything that you have, right? You don't want to make any fires. And you definitely don't want to set the fire alarm off and make everyone in the building come outside and pouring down rain, or in a couple weeks in the cold weather.
Yes.
That's how you
I'm
don't
gonna be
make
happy with
friends.
you.
Yeah, that's how you don't make friends. So we're gonna give a little sneak peek here to our brownie. See that it's still sticking a little bit, so we're gonna keep that going for a little while. But also too, right, using a microwave. Now a microwave I think is a little more common than a waffle iron, but a microwave you can actually cook with and not just reheat foods. Right, so today I'm going to show you how to make an egg scramble, right? We just made an omelet. So I'm going to use the same base with some eggs, and I also have here already in a cup I have some shredded hash browns, the kind you find in the freezer section like a Rita. So some shredded hash browns, some diced peppers, diced onions, and then I also have some cheese in there as well. And that's going to go into a coffee mug, right? We want to make sure that it is a heat-proof coffee mug. And we're going to want to make sure we add some pan release in there. We're going to add all of our toppings in there first.
I do this all the time. Do you do it at home?
Oh yeah.
Like the egg in the mug?
Uh-huh.
Easy, nice.
And then again, don't forget about the love of the culinary world, salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Always, always, always salt and pepper. And then we're going to add our egg right in there. Now if you want to juggle me on some power, Marissa, please.
Ooh, yeah.
Unplug this guy in for me.
Yes.
We can unplug the waffle iron. So one, we're a little constrained here with the power usage. Also, when you're in your dorm room, please know that you probably cannot have a microwave, a clothes iron, and a waffle iron going all at the same time. You will most likely blow a breaker and then have to call someone to get it reset. Let's take this right back here.
There we go.
Plug that in. So now we have our microwave. Now this microwave I have in front of me, as you can see, looks a little different than your standard microwave. So this is a commercial microwave. Basically the only difference is it's a lot more powerful. So I'm actually going to only set this for a minute. If I can figure out where I put the mug with all the stuff. On top of the microwave. Look at me already. It's already in the microwave. So start that for a minute. And we're going to see how that goes. So it may take a little longer, it may take a little less. We'll be able to tell when it comes out if it rose the whole way, it's a little dry. That means my minute guesstimate was a little too high. If the eggs are still a little bit runny, we're going to add that in for a little more. So as that's cooking, or go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with you.
As that's cooking, we're going to get our last demo up for presentation, and it is a coffee mug cake. Right, so again, in case you haven't noticed, kind of like my sweets.
Yeah, same.
Right. So again, this is just box cake mix. Where all you have to do is add water. Right, so I just already added the water in there, and I'm just going to put that in there, and then we're also going to bake that. Now with this, remember that cakes rise, right? So you don't want to fill the mug the whole way to the tippy top, because what's going to happen, that cake's going to rise, there's going to be nowhere for it to go, and it's actually going to come up over the mug and just fall out and make a big mess everywhere. So we're going to get that ready. We're going to check on our egg. And we see there, if you want to get a little close-up shot to it, you can see it's basically almost all the way there, but there is still a little bit of liquid eggs down there in the bottom. So it's probably only off by about 20 seconds. We're going to let that go for another 20, and then we should be good to go. So we're going to come over here, check out our quesadilla. All right, open her up. Oh, I can smell it. You can see the steam coming off of it. All right, so we got the cheese nice and melted, but we're gonna want a little bit of color on there. All right, so we're actually gonna flip that over. And we're gonna keep cooking that until we get to our GBD status. So again, back to the microwave. We're now gonna take our coffee cup scramble out. We're gonna put our our coffee cup cake in. We're gonna try 115 on that. It seemed like our minute little leeway was good. So great thing about this, and the reason why we use the pan spray, is that this slides right out.
Perfect.
Right like that. So you can see, right? Your nice,
So you can
beautifully
have a
cooked
balanced
eggs.
breakfast in 1 minute or give or take in the morning. So easy, no
correct.
mess.
And you got fresh hot food in front of you, right? You didn't have
Right.
to leave your dorm room to go get it,
No pans to clean up.
right?
That's nice.
You bought the ingredients at a grocery store, which is
Yeah.
significantly cheaper than, going to Smithfield News across the street or buying it at a convenience store, right? Paying
Absolutely.
convenience store prices. Grocery stores are always cheaper. That's why convenience stores are called convenience stores, because they're convenient,
Yes.
right?
You can even throw that on some toast and make an egg sandwich or a bagel.
Correct.
So you can do all kinds of things.
You could use your iron to make some toast.
Yes. That's
Right.
a great idea. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so here we go, 12 seconds. We're gonna check on our brownie here. Now, we did have to unplug this so we could use the microwave. Just gonna give it a little sneak peek. Oh, yeah, look at that. So we see that it did stick a little bit because I do have a little bit of a power issue with it going off and it dropped temperature. So that's the reason why it broke apart. So the cake appears to be done, but how do we know when cake's done? Use a toothpick or a thermometer, right? So it's gonna go in there, comes out clean.
Yes.
So that's how we know it's done. So again, we use the pan release, so it comes right out. So after you're done with breakfast, or maybe when you're done with classes for the day, you have that sweet craving, right? But you don't have an oven, so how do I make a cake? I don't wanna spend $5 on a slice of cake at a bakery. So here you go, you can make nice cake at home, still warm. You can see all the air pockets in it, nice fluffy cake. You can buy some icing, dump over. You can buy some ice cream, eat with it. You can have some fresh strawberries,
Yes.
right?
Whipped cream.
Game
all the
over.
above.
Game over. So now we're gonna go over here to our quesadilla. Take this up. Unwrap this with foil. Right? Ton of smells going on here.
I know,
I've been
smells
waiting
so
for
good.
smell-o-vision to get invented.
I know.
So everybody can smell what we're smelling here because it is divine. So here we have this, we have this. We're gonna bring over here. I already have some salsa and sour cream to go with our quesadilla.
Yes.
And bada bing, bada boom. Now you have dorm room cooking. So the last thing we got is our brownie. Oop. Grab a spatula so we can get the brownie off. Bring our plate over. I'll lift this out of here. I mean, just because it's not in a full shape of a waffle does not mean that it is
You're
not
still
still
not gonna eat it.
delicious. And yes, that we're still not, as soon as we're done with the camera and everything shuts down, that not all of us in this room are gonna sit around and eat this brownie.
Doesn't have to be pretty.
It's funny, when I cook food at home, right, I am a chef for a living, obviously, but I will take time and I will plate my fiance's food nice and pretty and aesthetically pleasing, and then when it comes to my plate, I kind of just shove everything on it.
What's really nice about the microwave too is there is a ton more that you can do with it too. So if you like baked potatoes, baked sweet potatoes, you can throw those in the microwave. You can stuff them with whatever, your fruit, your veggies, cheese. You can do a broccoli and cheese baked potato. Same with your grains. I think it's nice in a dorm room to keep individual baggies of brown rice or any kind of rice that you like, or mini pasta bags. You can make your pasta in there, your rice bowls in there. You can do a microwave fried rice. That's super simple. So kind of thinking outside the box too with all of your grains that you can also make in the microwave.
And also too, just, you know, everything what Marissa said, and even what you guys just witnessed with me kind of, you know, not having the perfect time on the brownie. So that's one tidbit I want to give you when it comes to food is you have to make mistakes. You know, that's how you learn, that's how you improve, that's how you grow your knowledge, by pushing yourself outside of the envelope, by outside of the box, doing something that you've never done before that you're not used to. So that way, when you do it again, right, it's always you improve on the last time that you made it. So while you just saw me, you know, kind of crumble a brownie, so next time I know that I'm going to make sure that I have dedicated power, right, to this, so this problem doesn't happen. Or same, you know, in your dorm room, making sure that, you know, hey, I forgot to add the pan spray, brownie turned out perfect, but I couldn't get it off the waffle iron.
Yes.
Same concept. So here we have our little brownie toffee here, topped it with some fresh whipped cream. We got a little bit of grapes on here, bada bing, bada boom. You got a nice little
Beautiful.
plate of dessert out of your dorm room.
You can impress all of your friends on your floor with this stuff.
You will be the favorite on your floor if you start cooking food like this. I can
Absolutely.
promise you that.
So we just challenge you to be creative, safely, of course, in your dorm room with what you have, but to experiment with these recipes and make them your own.
And we also have a contest going on, right?
Yes. So out of all the wonderful, delicious things we've made here over this 3-part series, if you take a picture of one of them that you made and you post it on Instagram and tag the Cab Instagram, which is
Point Park
at
Cab.
Point Park Cab, you are entered to win a gift card. So check some of these out, try to make something, take a picture, tag them, and you're entered to win.
That's awesome, right? I mean, I want a gift card. Right?
Yes.
Do I enter my
Alright.
pictures? All right.
Yeah.
You got some competition out there, ladies and gentlemen. Also, too, please check us out tomorrow over in Village Park. I'll be handing out popsicles starting at 4 o'clock. So come out, get a free popsicle. What's better than free food, especially when it's dessert? Again,
Yes.
I like my sweets.
Yes, so tomorrow's a big day. You got your gift card and popsicles.
Popsicles, so it's great. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being with us.
Thank
We
you.
hope you learned some things, so get out there, and I'm excited to see everyone's pictures.
Get cooking.